2019 is here, and with that, what I want to talk about today is what in my eyes are the top 5 mods released in 2018, that old year that just passed, for Fallout 4. So this video may not be immediately what you think. Originally, I was just structuring it as the top 5 mods overall, and what ended up happening was I had one mod from like each category. So I decided to play with the format, and what we're going to be looking at is the top weapon mod, the top armor mod, the top gameplay oriented mod, the top questing mod, and then finally the best mod update. Mods not necessarily released in 2018, but got a big update in 2018. Also, towards the end of this video, I'm going to be giving away some money to one of these mods, and you're going to play a role in deciding that. But one last thing before I actually jump into it, you'll notice below that there might be a join button, or in the description you'll find a thing where you can become a member on this channel. That's something new I'm going to be doing on this channel in 2019. As of right now, it's mainly just a way to support the channel, but you're also going to get some custom emotes you could use and actually a badge as you comment down below, in addition to a few other things that you can see if you guys do want to join. For those of you that actually join during this first month, I will always make sure you actually have an exclusive and different badge. Again, it's really just meant to be a way that some of you can support the channel, but if you just want to continue watching for free, that's still totally fine. But with that, let's start off with the weapon mod. This one wasn't too hard for me to pick, but I do want to shout out one honorable mention that was a very close runner-up. The Lear is another amazing weapon mod that came out this year, and if you haven't downloaded it, I would definitely recommend doing so. But for me, what was actually the best weapon mod was the Service Rifle, or Service Rifle Redux as it was called for a while. This being by Deadpool 2099 and a bunch of other people that helped him work on this. Fallout 4 has a lot of weapon mods. I imagine many of you knew that. You probably watched my channel and have seen me cover hundreds of these, if not more. But this weapon mod does quite a few things very special. First and foremost, there definitely is a nostalgia factor with this service rifle. It was one of the main items in Fallout New Vegas, and I think for a lot of us, it holds a special place in our hearts just like that game does. But even beyond that, I would say this weapon mod probably has the best customization system out of any weapon mod for Fallout 4 right now. You could change pretty much everything, literally. And when you're actually using this weapon, everything is extremely high quality. All the different variants, attachments, and customization options are extremely well done. And one of the really unique features is you can actually change the upper and lower receiver. That's something that to date I haven't seen another weapon mod do, and definitely not do as well as this one. The customization is really one of the premier aspects of this. Even though it's only technically one gun, it definitely feels like you're getting several with all the different variants. But even beyond that, it actually has a lot of other cool systems. There's unique ones you could find around the map. There's different paint jobs and stickers you could place on it. Certain attachments have to get unlocked. You can't just build them. You'll have to do something special first, or have to buy them from a trader. And really, this mod's just the complete package. Whether you want to use it yourself, give it to your companion, or even just encounter it in the wild on various enemies, it is an amazing addition to Fallout 4, and probably one of the best examples as to what modders can do. But with any good weapon, you also need a good set of armor. This is another one that really I just had a clear winner in my head. There's one mod that stood out beyond all the others, but one honorable mention that came out very recently that I've yet to cover on this channel, but I will be in the future. The ODST Battle Armor mod brings so many cool and interesting things to the table, adding in a lot of unique mechanics with its armor. But by far the best armor mod for Fallout 4 this year was Militarized Minutemen. This was highly anticipated. I made several videos looking at this as it was a work in progress, and it was quite a journey waiting for this one. But upon release, it didn't disappoint. It actually kind of blew me away with how good it was and how much content is included with it. Just as an armor mod, like something you use for yourself or put on your companions, this is a great mod. It brings to the table tons of new outfits and customization options, but also a ton of accessories to go along with it. Similar to the service rifle, every piece of this is handcrafted and looks absolutely beautiful. It also brings to the table tons of customization on these, whether it be different insignia, patches, colors, or even one of my favorite parts, what you're actually carrying in your backpack. I'm sure many people just love using this on their own characters, but what I think really takes this mod to the next level, what separates it from a lot of the other armor mods out there, is how it actually transforms one of Fallout 4's main factions, that with the Minutemen. It'll add in a ton of new classes to the Minutemen, and even beyond that, actually transform what all of them are wearing. And put simply, it takes what otherwise is kind of a boring or mundane faction and actually makes them look really freaking cool. So for that reason, even if you don't want to use any of these armors on yourself personally, it still will improve your game. It's going to make the Minutemen, which you almost have to encounter, far more interesting and a lot more fun to interact with. I wouldn't be surprised if following the release of this mod, the percentage of people that sided with the Minutemen went up significantly. But speaking of playing Fallout 4, then we have gameplay mods. This was a deliberately vague category. I really just wanted anything that could be considered something that affects gameplay in any way, but for me at least, the mod that did it best was Level Up Menu EX and some of its tag-along mods like Be Exceptional. So effectively, what Level Up Menu EX does is it takes Fallout 4's perk and special system and transforms it, brings you back to how it was, or pretty close to how it was in Fallout New Vegas and even Fallout 3. It breaks things up into perks, skills, and of course the standard special points, and gives you a lot more options and customizability when building and playing with a character. One of the really cool parts about this is you can apply it at any point during your playthrough. And there's honestly not much else to show with this one. It just for me has given me so many additional hours of enjoyment for Fallout 4. It really changes up the game in a lot of cool ways. When you are leveling up now, you just have a lot more options. And even beyond that, as I mentioned before, Level Up Menu EX is more of a framework, allowing other mods to actually add in new perks, skills, and change things up even further. And I think these two together are really quite nice, but there's other ones doing a more New Vegas take on all of this, or even something that's just a little bit odder and wacky. Either way, if you haven't done a playthrough with this mod, I would recommend doing so. Then we do have the new quest mod. This is often a category in Fallout 4 modding that doesn't have a ton of entries, simply due to the fact that these take a lot of work to do and it requires a different skill, not just technical proficiency, but actually knowing how to write an interesting story. Well, in 2018, we had a lot of really good entries into this category, so much so that after this, I'm going to be making a separate video on some of the coolest quest mods to come out. I'll have some of the interesting ones linked down below, but as far as my favorite, by far, that has to be Echo. Many of the quest mods out there right now take a lot of inspiration from Fallout 4's main gameplay loop. You go to an NPC, get a quest, and then you're put in some kind of event and you have to reach the end of it or maybe go get an item. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but what really made Echo stand out to me was how different it was. Once you start this thing, it really pulls you into it, and I found myself just wanting to beat it over and over again. One of the cool parts about this is it actually has alternate endings.
But when his friends didn't enjoy it, he was heartbroken. Couldn't stay on stage, couldn't finish a meeting. Typical. You probably can't even head inside the Stern like you're supposed to.
In a very similar vein to the Stanley Parable game, if you guys have ever heard of that. Effectively, you're thrust into a new job and your boss over the loudspeaker is giving you things to do. You may listen to him or be like me and not listen to him, and then you'll get different voice lines all throughout the quest as you do different things, or if your behavior changes. There's less of an emphasis on combat and more on just the story and your interactions with this person until you eventually end up to the end. All along the way, there's little tidbits of information that allude to what else is going on here, and just in general, it's a really fun experience.
You can't be trusted to open a door, you can't be trusted to sing with me, and so I don't trust you to stay alive. I was going to tell you how to defuse this bomb here, but I thought otherwise. You have about 40 seconds until detonation. Goodbye.
It's definitely not the longest quest mod out there, but it was certainly the best one I've played this year. And then for the final category, we actually have the best mod update. This is one area of Fallout 4 modding that it really just feels like doesn't get nearly enough attention, and I hoped I would somewhat address that with this segment. Again, the criteria are a mod released at any point, but got an update in 2018. One big honorable mention is going to be the RU556. You could definitely make the argument that this period is one of the best weapon mods in Fallout 4, but with its additional updates, including the latest one, which has an awesome trailer that I'm showing you some of, just takes it to new heights, adding additional polish and new functionality and features to it. But for me, it actually wasn't the best. The best for me was Diamond City Expansion. This was released early in 2017, almost 2 full years ago at this point, and it does what the title suggests, adds new and interesting locations to Diamond City, really fleshing it out. This year, it's gotten several updates, adding in only more new and interesting locations, and with those, a bunch of small to medium-sized quests that you can complete. In a way, I really feel like it takes Diamond City and makes it what a lot of us hoped it would be from day one. It certainly is more interesting, it's more fun, there's more to do, and just some of those otherwise barren or desolate areas now actually have content and interesting things for you to explore. The last update for this one only came out around 2 weeks ago, and if you haven't tried it, I would certainly recommend giving it a download. And just before we end things off, there's 2 mod authors I want to highlight, and none of their mods technically made this list, but they put out so much much good content this year and really added so much to the Fallout 4 modding scene that I don't want them to go unrecognized in this video. That's going to be Nero and King Gath. Nero released 9 mods in 2018, and you'd think at that comes a cost to the quality level of a lot of these, but no, it really didn't. Pretty much every single mod he's released was extremely fun and added a really good piece of content to this game. Pretty much all of them were weapon or armor mods, oftentimes having a quest associated with them, and he actually just released a mod yesterday. He truly has done some awesome work in Fallout 4 modding, and in 2018 in particular, he released some really awesome things. But then we also do have King Gath, the creator of Sim Settlements. Sim Settlements is probably in everyone's top 5 list of Fallout 4 mods of all time. And since its initial release, King Gath has only continued to support it. We didn't get any new expansions this year, but we did just get the trailer for the next one that looks really promising. But even beyond that, he has been consistently patching all of these mods, actually giving us mega packs so we could get tons of new settlements, as well as releasing a couple of really big quality of life entries to the workshop mode of Fallout 4. His mods have probably given me over 100 hours of additional enjoyment out of Fallout 4, and I'm sure many of you also. So that's it. Those are my top 5 mods for Fallout 4 in 2018. Now obviously some of you guys aren't going to agree with all of these, but that's okay because that's my opinion. I'd actually love to hear what you guys thought in the comments down below, but even beyond that, I did really want to have some fan interaction and involvement with this one. So what I'm going to do is, on my Twitter account right now, I do have a poll set up. My top 5 mods will be on that poll, that being the Service Rifle, the Militarized Minutemen mod, Level Up Menu EX, Echo, and of course Diamond City expansion. I'm going to give the mod author of one of those mods $50. And I want you to decide which one you think actually deserves that 50 bucks. I'll have a link to the poll down below, and yeah, you guys can choose who actually gets a tangible reward, not just a pat on the back from JuiceHead. Either way, there was a ton of great content in 2018. Making this video was truly pretty hard because of how much good stuff there was out there. In the future, I'm going to definitely have a return to Fallout 4 mods on this channel. You guys can look forward to that. But yeah, definitely starting off the new year right. As always, again, I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.